Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And for you guys is another Lego Batman, or I guess Lego video game review. Today we're tackling Lego Batman the video game. Now you're probably wondering, Franchise, you already covered Lego Batman the video game. Well, yes, I covered the hero side, so the Batman and Robin storyline. I have, it's good. It was good. It's not fantastic, but it was pretty good. And I already have that review up on my channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty funny. I have a tribute and a little skit. I told you before I wasn't going to do a skit for this because this isn't going to be that long of a video because really today we're tackling the villain side of the Lego Batman the video game. But first and foremost, before we get into this, I just want to tell you while I'm kind of exploring the Arkham Asylum hub area is just here, which isn't that great, but it's the older Lego games. They're not too crazy anyway, but they're still pretty alright. Thank you so much for 900 subscribers. I was going to make a video on it, but I just made a thank you video. I know you guys with thank you videos, but thank you, everyone who is subscribing from either Lego Star Wars or anything. Really thank you for everything. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, as I cover a bunch of different franchises. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever you want me to do, I'll pretty much do. But yeah, it means a lot, so thank you for the sub. So anyway, going into this, we're going to kind of, one of my favorite elements of the Lego Batman, the video game villain side, is how it basically, and you'll see in a minute, it basically took the campaign and the levels that you were playing the hero side, but you were, essentially playing them as the villain. So you take, I don't know, like the Riddler one, which you'll see in a second here, or you're seeing now, when Riddler and Mr. Freeze are kind of destroying the cops and, killing the cops, and it sounds weird, but just roll with it. We're doing it. There's a bunch of weird elements where you're kind of, it's flipped. Now you're playing as the villain. You're playing as the Riddler. You're playing as Mr. Freeze, destroying all this and trying to kind of interfere with Batman and Robin. Whereas in the hero side, you were Batman and Robin trying to stop Mr. Freeze and the Riddler. So it's kind of a reverse role, which it was really cool. I didn't really pay too much attention to it as a kid because I was a dumb kid. But basically, I understood a little bit, but. Of course, we know DC really isn't for kids. Lego games are not for kids. They are suitable for kids. It's for all ages. But basically, now as a teenager, well, I'm 22, but now as an adult, even when I was a teenager, it was kind of cool. I was like, oh man, this is cool. You're actually, you're doing something different. You're actually playing as the villain, and the music was fantastic. The music in these levels is fantastic, and it's just amazing. And especially in the open world, the Arkham Asylum area as well, really cool. The graphics were still good. Nothing took a deep dive in terms of quality. Like it wasn't like the hero side was better made or put more care into than say the villains. They were equally well made, and that was really cool considering 2008 they also had Lego Indiana Jones 1, which I also reviewed before. Which is another great game. But basically you have this kind of element where you're seeing right now the Riddler and Mr. Freeze. You can kind of use the different abilities, such as Riddler can use mind control. Mr. Freeze can kind of, if you hit the B button with the Xbox, you can kind of pick up the cop or whatever and kind of poof, blast them out. Really cool stuff. Of course, when you're playing the hero side, you have to use the different suits, right? So Batman and Robin have different suits to kind of pertain to their different abilities, right? Batman can't automatically use power, strength, the orange handles. He has to get in the power suit and do that. But you have Mr. Freeze, who's in a friggin' cryogenic suit. He can just say screw it, and he can just do it himself, So I think I always kind of favored the villain campaign because it was just more accessible. You could walk through Toxic Goo is Killer Croc, which you're going to see in a minute. There's just a bunch of different elements in there that were really, really well done, and just kind of, it was different enough than the hero campaign. It almost really felt like you got two games, The first game was the hero, and the second side was the villain. It's that noticeable, it's a whole 3 more campaigns, a bunch, 18 levels or whatever, a whole new hub world, new collectibles, new campaign missions, and cutscenes, and great graphics. Everything about the villains is really cool, and again, I think I might actually like the villain side more because you're playing as the villains, It's cool. I do think DC has better villains than Marvel. I do like the Marvel villains, but DC, in my opinion, has more memorable villains. And I think having this, this sort of, because we all know, Joker, Harley Quinn, these aren't really kid-friendly characters. So making it into a kid-friendly game, again, not a kids-only game, kid-friendly, big difference there. But I think having it, available for a kid to play and also an adult, it's just as good. I'm 22. I just played it an hour ago before filming my voiceover for this, and let me freaking tell you, I had a blast. It's fantastic. Sadly, I didn't play the whole game because, I doing other stuff. I just filmed enough for the video, but for what I did film, it was really nice. So again, going on to the Penguin and Killer Croc mission, which is really cool as well. And you're in the sewers this time, kind of trying to bail out Catwoman, which is pretty funny. The little cutscene in there where Penguin and Killer Croc are kind of laughing, and he's like, nah, 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 nah. You know, of course, this is before they were talking in 2012. This came out in 2008, so you had the pantomime, you know, where Killer Croc's like, rah, rah, rah. You know, Penguin's like, nah, nah, nah. You know, he's laughing, he's punching him. It's, you know, it's funny. I do think the Lego games with talking are better in terms of comedy because you can actually like have good, clever jokes written into the script. But I think having that pantomime and you know the murmuring, I think it really did kind of ascend this game, especially you know Lego Star Wars Complete Saga all the way to I don't know Lego Star Wars 3, Pirates of the Caribbean. Those games, all of these ones before Lego Batman 2, they feel different. You know what I mean? They're older, yeah, but they're not poorly made. Like Grand Theft Auto 4, I always bring it up, but GTA 4 is a great game, but it looks like trash. It just does. I don't understand. Assassin's Creed 1, which I'm currently working on right now in real life just for fun, came out in 2007. And it looked 10 times effing better than GTA 4 that came out in 2008. So GTA 4 looks like butt. Lego Batman, the video game, looks fantastic. And I know, oh, it's a Lego game. There's not much, but it does. It looks good. You know, what do you want me to tell you? It looks really, really good. And of course, the villain side amplifies that as well. Some textures, of course, like Lego DC Supervillains, the villain-centered Lego game. That is, of course, better than this. But this kind of felt like the tiny little blueprints to kind of getting to that, you know, era of Lego DC Supervillains of the game. But of course, you're going to see, you know, me and Killer Croc. Killer Croc can, of course, go into the acid because when he moves, he runs a little quicker. He has super strength. He picks up guys and he headbutts them into the ground. And Penguin can kind of, if you hold B, he kind of takes the like exploding wind-up penguins out of his hat, you know, and they kind of go forward. And then you can detonate them and blow up silver Lego bricks. So again, even in this level, you know, they're not just going, oh, Killer Croc is, you know, he looks different, and Penguin's a little tiny guy, you know. They don't do that. They're like every Lego game. They take the care to make sure that they do enough research into these characters so that you know, okay, man, you look at Killer Croc in the comics or in a movie, whatever, TV show, and you go, okay, this guy's, you know, effing huge. Of course he's got super strength. You know, Penguin, we know, has wind-up penguins. He murmurs like a, you know, he's like Ice King, like the penguin guy, like Gunta, you know. And it's essentially, they do their research. TT Games, when they, this is why I love TT Games. There's a few things I don't like about them, but I think that out of all the things, they care about the IP they work on. You know, they do their research, but they also, you can just tell from playing the game, they care and they had fun making it. And there's just so much going into it. You know, yeah, you're killing cops in this version, but, you know, building things, breaking stuff, collecting studs, it's all still there. But again, using these character abilities to kind of see what these characters can do, I think is really, really interesting. And I think that was pretty cool. And again, playing as Killer Croc and Penguin. I mean, come on, what more do you want? Moving on to the final area. Again, this is not, there's 6 levels per thing. So Riddler, Penguin, Joker, each one has 6 levels. But, 6 or 4. I think it's 6. Maybe, I don't know, 6 or 4. But I just haven't played it. But I do think, like I said, I'm not, of course, showing you every level because that would take too long. And I did tell you it was going to be a bit of a shorter video because, again, it's not a new game. It's just part of the same game. But, again, like I said before in the video, it does really feel like its own separate game, you know. I don't think games were $60 back in 2008. And however much you had to pay, I paid for it like, 15, $20. I don't know when. A long time ago, from GameStop or the Exchange or what have you, but full price, this is worth the full price if you're a Lego fan or a DC fan. You know, you get to play the heroes and the villains. Each has a hub, each have a complete campaign. It's pretty freaking crazy, man, what TT Games did in 2008 with the DC property. Now going into the Joker storyline, you have Joker and Harley Quinn. I'm going to be, of course, I'm shooting cops again. But there's a lot of elements, and of course, using Joker as well. They really did care about the characterization. So Joker, if you hit B, kind of shocks guys, and you know they kind of go, you know, like, or the hell was that? It's like, you know, like, imagine you're getting shocked with electricity, that kind of thing. It was funny, you know. I mean, you're still killing people, but it's family-friendly murder. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. It's family-friendly murder. Not just for kids, not just for adults. It's for everyone. Killing cops for the whole family. That's kind of strange. What are you gonna do? But using, like I said, Joker's dual Uzis, I guess. Just, shooting the guy. The animation's really cool. Joker, if you look at him during my gameplay here, Joker's very sporadic. He's kind of like on acid, or he took like a million pieces of chocolate candy. He's shaking constantly. He just, the way he walks, he's always moving. I think it's kind of cool, the jittery nature of him. Of course, the dual Uzis or machine guns, and of course the electricity, which is pretty funny. He does a little jump too. If you're gonna see it if you haven't already, where he's double jump. He kind of lands on his back and he's like, ugh, he's gonna pick himself up. It's funny, Um, I like how they added that comedic thing, because he is the Joker. He'll kill you, but he'll kill you and you'll be laughing while you die. That's how he works. Harley Quinn, of course, I can't really say she's sexy in this game because that's weird because she's plastic. But basically, I mean, hell, for plastic. I do think that she's cool in this game too. Of course, for some reason in the older Lego games, you had this like strange thing where all the females, all the women and girls, they can just effing like jump really high. I don't know what the hell that was about. They're like TT Games. It's like, really, she can jump really high, even though she doesn't do that in the movies. Harley Quinn makes sense that she can double jump and kind of is more athletic than Joker. Because let's face it, Joker's just kind of an old boomer. But Harley Quinn, she is a gymnast. Technically, she's a psychiatrist, but she's also a gymnast. So I think seeing that element of her kind of having to double jump and just kind of, jump through these hoops and bash people in with her, really iconic hammer, that was pretty cool as well. So again, we're seeing these different characterizations, and playing the Joker and Harley Quinn is different than playing Killer Croc or Penguin or Mr. Freeze or the Riddler. It's really cool that they do that. And of course, going to this area here where you're trying to get to the bell tower, and again, all of these villain campaign missions are literally in opposite reverse of the hero missions. So in the villain missions, the villains win. Villain missions, villains win. So there's this one scene, and you're gonna see it in the gameplay here, of Joker kind of electrifying these two spires, and he's about to pull a lever, which I'm assuming the lever is to destroy the world. That's just my idea. But it always scared the poop out of me when I was a freaking kid, man, because the way he's laughing, the way he moves, the way the music is, the tension, and then right before he pulls the lever, it just cuts to black. There's no like music. It just ends. Just like that, just complete silence. It ends. And it always scared me because, I mean, I knew it's a video game. I'm not stupid. But at the same time, I was like, they really did a good job of portraying that tension in a Lego game. Not a lot of people look past these games as stupid kid games, but they're really, really well done for adults. And hell, I just played it like 20 minutes ago, and I still got goosebumps because I remember being a kid being really scared that Joker won. Villains don't win. The hero wins. Of course, that changes throughout medium and franchises, but I do think that it is kind of cool that they took that reverse to the literal extreme where Joker actually effing won, and right before he completes his mission, it just abruptly ends. It was always kind of strange and mysterious. But yeah, that was it. I mean, I do think that these villain campaigns are really fun. I think it's just as good, if not better, than the hero side, because you get to play with the villains. It's really cool, because in the hero campaign, it was really just Batman and Robin for the most part. I think that's all you did. And in this, you get a wider array of different characters from the villain side. So it was really cool to kind of embrace your the bad side and just kind of see what it would be like if the villains won. Add to that a really cool looking Arkham Asylum open world, or I guess hub, where you guys saw it in the beginning. You're probably going to see it in the end too. I don't know what you're seeing right now, but basically, whenever and you'll know if you played it, when you have that area, it's like when you spawn in Arkham and you jump straight down, there's like a big area, and in that area you just beat the crap out of guys. There's goons constantly respawning, and it's freaking fun, man. In the hero side, you saw me last video, I was beating up Alfred every time I got, and it was just funny. But this time, there's millions of goons just spawning everywhere, so you can just kind of shoot them or beat them up or whatever. It's kind of cool, it's like the bad guys fighting, you can make up scenarios. It's kind of cool. So again, this game is crazy good if you're a fan of Lego DC. I think if I were to give the hero campaign, I'd probably give that like an 8.5 or a 9, and this is probably a 10. I think that having the ability to use the villains and do different things, and just kind of see the scenarios play out, after playing the hero campaign, it's really cool. So again, Lego Batman the video game is an amazing DC game, and it's an amazing Lego game. So if you're a big fan of DC and Lego, give it a try. The next video I have will probably be, I think, Lego Indiana Jones 2. Again, I am reviewing every single Lego game, main console releases before the Skywalker Saga. When we do get news on the Skywalker Saga, when, I will be covering it. But again, so hope you guys enjoyed this little review of the villain side of Lego Batman, the video game. Make sure to hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe. Thank you guys again for the 900 subs. You guys are the freaking best. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.